What's going on, everybody? This is a segment from the Nerdgasm Talk podcast. If you like podcasts, well, why don't you come join us as the crew gets silly and Philly while we sit to talk about the latest in comics, games, movies, and all things pop culture. You guys can listen to our whole show on all the podcasts as we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And make sure you guys also support the channel by subscribing to the Nerd Coalition Studios. And for the gaming needs, make sure you subscribe to Nerd Coalition Level Up. This is the Nerd Coalition. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And now, feel the Nerdgasm. So, let's just get right on into Disney when it comes to talking about their future plans is coming up and how we feel about that. Because Disney announced that, well, at least the movies that I heard, they released 3 new projects coming out. Toy Story 5, Zootopia 2, and Frozen 3.
There's only one of these movies I'm excited for.
I know which one that is. Because it's the one I agree with you on too, and that's Zootopia 2.
Yeah, because I'm like, we was good on 3 Toy Stories. 4, I was like, you know what? That was a good story. And that 5, like, you're just milking it.
Well, okay, I'll get to the Toy Story thing in a minute. But the Zootopia thing, I was like, it's due for a sequel. It's due for a sequel.
Yep.
And especially how good that movie was. I was like, it's way due for a sequel. And it was way smarter than it needed to be.
Yep.
And I don't care if they want to call it woke, whatever the case may be. I'm like, hey, that movie taught a lot.
Yeah. And there's so much in that world to explore.
Yeah.
There's a lot to explore in that movie. So I'm like, yeah, bring me more of it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's not going to be like a direct-to-DVD type movie. It's going to be a,
It better not be no direct. I will fight.
And because, this also came off the news because they're doing an Inside Out 2 also.
What happened to Pixar saying, hey, we're done with sequels?
So
now they're making Toy Story 5 and...
there was a issue with Pixar that I am not too familiar with of what happened, but something seems to be getting on track, and they was just like, all right, here we go, we're going to do this right. I think that's necessarily what happened, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, because their competitor, DreamWorks, knocked out 2 sluggers.
Damn, which one? I didn't see something from DreamWorks.
Puss in Boots, incredible.
Oh, I heard that was a good movie.
I just caught it. I was like, you know what? I'll watch it. And I was like, I'm blown away.
All right. And what was that other one?
The Bad Guys. The one was like the Big Bad Wolf. Well, not the Big Bad Wolf. It was a wolf, a snake, a spider. They were villains. And they were like robbing banks.
Sounds confident. Did they come out last year?
I think it came out last year. And apparently that did really well. I didn't get to see it, but both of them trumped both Pixar movies that came out that year, which was it was Lightyear and the what was the Fish Out of Water movie?
Oh yeah. Strange Planet.
Was that Pixar? I thought that was Disney.
I don't know, but nobody. It was bad.
Yeah, I heard nobody liked that one.
Yeah,
but they played. They did something. I think it went straight to Disney Plus. But yeah.
Turning Red went straight to Disney Plus.
That was Pixar.
I think Turning Red is Pixar.
Okay, that was a great movie.
I enjoyed Turning Red. Yeah.
It was another one. I know.
It had to be Pixar because Raya wasn't Pixar. That was Disney.
Yeah, Raya was Disney.
And so was Luca.
Luca? That's the one I'm thinking about.
Okay.
That wasn't Pixar?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Pixar, because every time I see like an animation, I'm just thinking Pixar automatically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I remember how many times you called Zootopia Pixar, and I was like, it's not.
Look, that and the same thing with Frozen. Now, here's my thing with Frozen. Frozen was a sleeper hit when it first happened. Mm-hmm. I never saw Frozen 2. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there was something in Frozen 2 that set up something for Frozen 3. I'm not necessarily sure. But I never saw it. However, I was just like, Frozen 3, I was like, we really going there? Like, before I have a judging opinion, I have to see the second one because I have not seen the second one. I've just seen the first one,
I saw the second one. It wasn't as good as the first one.
which a lot of sequels aren't.
I feel like they should take their own advice from the first movie and let it go. Like, just stop. Like, now it is a cash cow. I don't blame them, but like, some things just need to end. Which we're going to talk about this with the next movie, but it's just some things you gotta hang the cape up.
Yeah, well, they don't take that advice from Toy Story. Because Toy Story, which is the father of Pixar, that was the starting point for Pixar, was Toy Story. Now, here's the thing. Toy Story 5. Of course, when you first hear it, you're like, why do they need to do another Toy Story? Mm-hmm. I put my conspiracy hat on. Mm-hmm. I think they announced Toy Story 5 to make it for Lightyear.
Probably. I think that's why they're making all these sequels, because all the other movies they done that was just like offshoots. Yeah. Didn't make too much noise.
Exactly. Now, me personally, it's just like, I've heard some theories, because here's the thing. Toy Story is a series of movies of Pixar that has never failed us. Mm-hmm. And what I say by that is because ever since the second Toy Story movie, they have battled adversity. Because after the second Toy Story movie, they was like, there's going to be a second one, which Toy Story 2 was only scheduled to be straight to DVD.
Wow, that would have been a great straight to DVD.
Yeah. Toy Story 2 was supposed to be straight to DVD, kind of like how Aladdin 2, was good, like the Return of Jafar type thing was. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to go DVD. They say, well, we got a little bit too much in this movie for that. We should just have a theatrical release. They had theatrical release, not as many theaters back then, especially because in 1999, but it did well. Right. And then 10 years later, they gave us Toy Story 3. And we was just like, dude, and back then, because I had to go do some research, back then, people was like, we don't need a Toy Story 3. It was fine with Toy Story, but it was like, they gave us Toy Story 3, and which is arguably the best Toy Story.
Yeah. And then we saw it, and then we was like, yeah, we needed that.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my God, like, that thing still brings, like, like, every time I see Toy Story 3, I'm still thinking like they're gonna die. Like not knowing that we got 4 and 5, like, you know what I'm saying? But I still be thinking like, oh man, how y'all could get out this? Like, I haven't seen the movie 13 times. Then when the fourth one came out, we said, why are they doing it? It ended perfectly, right? Mm-hmm. But they battled adversity. They gave us. It wasn't as good as Toy Story 3, but it was a good movie. Yeah. They didn't shit the bed with Toy Story 4. Which I'm thinking they could find a good story for Toy Story 5. My thing is, and I heard this theory on the John Campbell show. They were saying, that trilogy ended Andy's story. With the fourth one, the third one ended Andy's story going into Bonnie's story. Mm-hmm. We don't know. Maybe the fifth one, it's like, well, we can't do but so much, or maybe the fifth one ends Bonnie. So I don't necessarily know. The only thing is for me now is Woody gone from them. Yeah. There's no saying that. Yeah, of course Woody can find his way back, or they can find their way to win, like that. But that is like, what is the story they're going to create? Do we got confidence that they're going to create a decent story? I mean, it's Pixar. If anything has been handled, if anything has been handled well, the Pixar studio has been Toy Story. Yeah, they will make sure they won't mess that thing up. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, we'll see. Because I need my Tom Hanks back. I don't want no
Toy Story and Cars. Something about.
Cars and planes and stuff just won't die. Because see, here's the thing: the problem with Cars is those are bad movies. Those aren't masterpieces like Toy Story is. Toy Story's like, okay, we got a good movie here, and it's like they found a way to keep this thing going. And in the fifth one, they could really try to find a way, introduce new people to find a way to keep this thing going.
I'm just so surprised we don't have anything Incredibles related announced
it took
from
us like
Pixar.
almost 20 years for Incredibles 2.
They
You know what I'm
they
saying?
don't like the series. I'm convinced they just don't like Incredibles.
Unless it feels it's like a superhero withdrawal. I was like, because Incredibles 2 was good.
Yeah, it wasn't the first one, but it was good. I was like, all right, I enjoyed this. I was like, I don't think I don't make me wait 20 years for this, but
Because sometimes you can wait too long and miss the mark.
yeah,
Because
that was the case. That was the case
with The Incredibles, I think the problem with The Incredibles was they waited too long because you now came into it. Like when The Incredibles came out in 2004, you're just in that, you're just sniffing the superhero stuff. When The Incredibles 2 came out, I'm like, we are overloaded with way better content superhero stuff.
Yeah.
To the point where it's hard for that to compete. And then when stuff comes out, it's dated, such as like when M. Night Shyamalan did Glass.
Yep.
I'm like, if Glass and Split came out within the 2000s, like within from 2000 to 2009, when Unbreakable came out in 2000, and he said like 2003 I'm gonna do Split, 2006 I'm gonna do Glass, I think it would have received it better.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Because of how things worked, but now the problem with Shyamalan, which I'll get into with my movie review, he's dated on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 2016 when Split came out, I was like, oh, this is pretty decent. But then Glass came out, it's just like, bruh, it had potential and it was good up to a point, but it's just like we have seen better superhero movies than this.
Right.
Go the extreme, and you just didn't go there, and you're dated on your thoughts about how superheroes work. That's and I think when it came to The Incredibles, that was part of the problem also.
Right.
So, but any final thoughts on this new Disney lineup of how things are going to be coming down?
Not at all. I'd rather have Araya the Dragon too.
I don't think people talk about that enough.
They don't, and I love that movie so much. I was like, this was good. I watched it randomly one day. I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Either that or Sony. Get Mitchell's the Mitchells and the Machines.
Yeah. Oh, Mitchell. God, that was good.
Yeah. So Sony hit it out the park with that.
Uh-huh.